Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are in the world. And whenever you are tuning into this video, my name is James Porcelli, and welcome to another edition of the Ruthless Talk podcast. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is late on a Saturday. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, it is very late on a Saturday night, and we are about to talk some SmackDown as we are a week away from Night of Champions in Saudi Arabia. We will be talking all about that next week with a very special guest that is planned, so stay tuned for all of that to come. As you can see, Brian Thomas, my co-host, is not with me for this episode this evening. It sucks. I know, man. I know. Listen, I don't know when Brian Thomas will be back. You know, he's got a family. He's got kids, damn it, right? As Heath Slater would say. But Brian Thomas will be back. So in the meantime, over the next several episodes, you're going to see your boy Solo. Now, over the next week, your boy is also going to be doing a lot of traveling over the next couple of days. I don't know when there will be a Monday Night Raw review. I'm not sure if there's going to be another Sports Corner or AEW episode this week. I'm probably banking on the fact that there probably will not be. But stay tuned for that. I will keep everybody updated. Make sure you guys see our banner down below to where you can follow us on Instagram and TikTok to where you can keep up with everything as far as our episodes. So the next week or so is going to be very hectic as far as when these episodes will be published out in the near future. As again, I'll be doing a lot of traveling, so I don't know when I will be able to record said episodes, but I will definitely try my hardest because, again, there is a lot that is going to be happening in the pro wrestling world with AEW All In, with NXT Great American Bash, with WWE Saturday Night's Main Event, WWE Evolution, and so many other things around the pro wrestling world that's going to be happening over the next several weeks. So stay tuned for all of that. I will definitely find some time to talk about all of this stuff, whether it is on this podcast or whether it's on our social medias. Of course, if you guys do follow us on social media, I do little recaps of certain pay-per-views and shows, so that honestly might be the case as far as for some of these shows coming up in the next several weeks. So stay tuned for that and all of that to come. So as far as that is concerned, with all of that being said, we're going to dive straight into this. Again, this is very late on a Saturday. I don't have a whole lot of time, so I am going to knock this out. We will be talking SmackDown of what was a promo segment that's got a lot of people talking. What am I talking about? Well, we'll get into that very, very shortly. I'm sure a lot of people have heard the recent news that broke out about Liv Morgan. Of course, you guys know what happened from this past Monday on Raw. She developed a separated shoulder to where we didn't know how severe it was. Most likely, she was going to be out for a couple weeks, maybe a month or two. But now we are hearing that it does require surgery. I'm not sure if she's gotten surgery done on it yet. Maybe soon. I'm not sure as of this recording. I don't know. But she's most likely, guys, going to be out for probably a good 6 to 8 months. So you're thinking that she's probably done for the rest of this year. You probably will not see Liv Morgan until 2026. And that's, again, it's just a shame, man. It really, really is, to where, again, ever since I've had this platform, and again, I know Brian feels the same way, to where Liv Morgan, man, has made her strides. To where even if you're not a fan of Liv Morgan or not, to where if you can't acknowledge the improvements that she has made, not only in the ring, but also on that microphone, her believability, her confidence, everything, as well as just this company has continued to put the faith and the trust in her to where she was going to be a miraculous, a big key factor in this WWE Women's Evolution show with Nikki Bella, maybe something with the Bella twins. But that was in the works, of course. But now, of course, with this injury, that's not happening anymore. Of course, her days as the world champion, of course, being a or one half of the women's tag titles and putting on so many tremendous performances, again, from the Royal Rumble, from the Elimination Chamber, and from so many other just PLEs that she has just become the MVP of this women's division. And it sucks to see her to where she is getting to that peak of superstardom, right? Or at least that's what this company was banking on, as far as, again, putting her in there with Nikki Bella for WWE Evolution. We talked about the world title reign that she had not too long ago. And now you get this, man. You get this just injury that just happens out of nowhere. And it sucks. It really does suck. Again, a match that was literally 5 seconds in. And just it's crazy how things can just miraculously change on a dime. But much love to Liv Morgan. And I do feel bad for Kairi Sane as well, to where she's getting a lot of just weird, unnecessary hate, to where people think that she is the problem as far as how the injury developed with Zoe Starks. Now, I'll get to that in a second because I spoke about it before. And the fact that this injury to Liv Morgan is for some odd reason her fault. Guys, it's a freak accident. I went back and watched this spot countless of times because for some odd reason people are bashing Kairi Sane because how she performed the dragon screw and how it was kind of I guess botchy in a way. Guys, it was a freak accident. It was a dragon screw. Liv Morgan tried to brace herself and shit fucking happens, man. I mean, I don't know what people are fucking talking about. It's just so fucking weird. Again, people think that I come on here just to bitch and moan just for the sake of it, when you got fans fucking just have their pitchforks and their knives or whatever against Kyrie Zane for this type of incident. It's very weird. Now, the situation with Zoe Starks, to where Zoe Starks, she also developed a very serious knee injury. We don't know if we'll even ever see Zoe Starks in a WWE ring again. It was just the timing of when Kyrie Zane turned around, and you can hear like Zoe Starks like scream out to Kyrie, to where she was definitely at least late to her spot. Maybe not the spot as far as the trajectory of how far Zoe Starks was going to springboard off that top rope. But clearly, Kyrie Zane, her back was turned. She was not in position facing Zoe. And that's what obviously led to the missed communication. That's what led to the injury. So, for that aspect, okay, Kyrie Zane, she's got to do better. She's got to learn from it. But, guys, with Liv Morgan, it's a freak accident. Anything can happen in that wrestling ring. And for those of you that want to, again, ignite your freaking pitchforks or whatever the case is, like, calm down. What the fuck are we doing? So it's a shitty situation, but again, much love to Liv Morgan. Wishing her nothing but, again, a very speedy recovery with her surgery. Just again, man, a woman that has been thriving on all cylinders, for this to happen to her, from, I mean, being put on the pedestal um, as the world champion, the women's world champion, and being in all these, whether again we like them or not, again, they all have their massive issues for justified reasons, but being in those top spots and being in those, segments with other top female stars like Rhea Ripley, like Bianca, like Naomi, like frickin' Io Sky, and all of these people, it's a big deal. It's a very big deal. And for this to happen to her, man, it's devastating. And it's little things like that, like this, to where it really affects your momentum, to where people see the improvement in Liv Morgan. They see how much she's been rocking on all cylinders and how much she's tapped into this persona as a heel. And now maybe at least what WWE was trying to do, or has been trying to do, which was slowly turn her back into a face. And then this happens, man. And we've seen injuries in the past where people ride good momentum. An unfortunate injury happens and they're never really the same again. So hopefully that's not the case with Liv Morgan. Hopefully when she does come back, she picks up right where she left off with her momentum and everything else as a whole. So, and that's all I can say, man. Just much love to Liv Morgan. Again, I know that came out a couple of days. I know it's a very, very late type of topic or discussion, but I just wanted to just show my flowers once again. Shout out to Liv Morgan, and once again wishing her a very speedy recovery. So, as far as AEW, man, AEW scored over a 730,000 viewership this week as they had AEW Grand Slam in Mexico. I was able to catch some, not all of the show, which is again why you have not seen an AEW review this week. Again, just a lot of traveling, a lot of stuff on my end as well as Brian's end as well. I did make an upload on our social medias. Again, you see the banner, Ruthless_Talk, made 2 separate uploads about Mercedes, or should I say Monet Six Belts, or Six Belts Monet, to where she won the CMLL championship, to where now she's pretty much got 6 championships. I'm pretty sure that's how many titles she's gotten, or however many fucking titles she has at this point. So my thoughts are in those 2 separate posts that are on our social media. So if you guys want to know my thoughts about Mercedes and her holding on to these titles, because a lot of people for just they can't stand it, man. There's like, oh, Mercedes winning all these titles. What are we doing? What is this doing for the AEW women's division and pro wrestling? Oh, Mercedes Hogan, all of this fucking shit that I hear. And I explained all of that on our social media. So please definitely go give that a look. Check it out. With all of my thoughts as far as Mercedes, once again, continuing to rack up title after title after title. So take a look at that, of course, when you guys get the chance to do such. But for what I caught, man, was honestly a very, very well done show. The only thing that was very bizarre to me was this 14-person tag match. I'm pretty sure it involved people like FTR, and I think it was what? It was Brody King and Daniel Garcia and Adam Cole and that whole faction that they got going on with Kyle O'Reilly and Strong, and other people that were involved as well, right? I mean, listen, man, I get it. To where, as far as a pay-per-view or PLE, whatever you want to call it, type of scenario, to where, look, you want to have people go out there and put on a performance. And as far as it being related to, I guess, the style in Mexico, lucha libre, that type of, I guess you can say, leeway, then okay, fine. So where there was already a 10-person tag match on this card, it's just like what the fuck, man? Like, why so many fucking people? It's just like, at what point does it just become filler, to where not only are you doing just one 10 person tag, but 14-man tag match? I'm like, when does it become a little bit ridiculous, to where we got to tone it down, to where you got to send a whole bunch of people out there to do a bunch of spots in a very short amount of time? It's just filler. Let's be honest, it's just really filler. And that's just what it was. I mean, if this was just one of maybe few, multi-person tag matches, but you also had another 8-man or 10-person tag. I think this was with frickin' the Bucks and frickin' Swerve and Offspray, and I think Ricochet was a part of it. Again, I don't have my notes in front of me for that, but it's like, okay, you did that, and then on top you put even more people in a multi-person circus matchup. Like, we gotta tone that down a little bit, man. We can't just be sending people out there just for the sake of it, to where, all right, it's like, what is this truly accomplishing? You know what I'm saying? It's just, I don't know. But I guess Tony Khan thought to himself, was like, all right, it's I guess a weekly pay-per-view show. So let's just, I guess we got to fill up a card for 2.5 hours. And I think that's why, because I think it was an extra half hour for this Grand Slam event. So again, like I said earlier, it's an easy way to just fill up time. That's just what it came across to me. And look, I can't stand it either way. If you got to do it to where maybe it makes sense for everybody involved, okay, sure. but several times throughout this show that you had multiple people, I'm talking multiple people in a matchup. It's just very weird. It's very weird. It's chaotic. And again, so many people have to do a bunch of spots in a short amount of time. And it's just filler. You're just putting them in there to fill up some time throughout your show. And that's just what it is, man. Um, again, freaking, Hangman is doing his thing, Swerve and Offspray are doing their thing. So there's a lot of things that in AEW that's really, really got a lot of people excited for this upcoming AEW All In show. Of course, you got Tony Storms and Mercedes. I'm really looking forward to that. And listen, shout out to them, man. I mean, look, regardless how I felt about this 14-person tag match, they scored over a 730,000 viewership and defeated NXT, by the way. NXT, to where I'll be honest with you, NXT has been very inconsistent as far as their booking. There hasn't been a whole lot to grasp within NXT. You have your guys like Ethan Page and Ricky Saints. You've got this women's division who's arguably has the best female women's division in pro wrestling with people like Kalani Jordan, Solar Ruka, Jada Parker, all of these people. But just not a whole lot of reasons to really truly go back and watch and care. You have Blake Monroe, aka Mariah May, to where she's in there with JC Jane. JC Jane, we all know she's not going to hold on to that title for very long. So are they just going to give it to Blake Monroe? That would be very interesting. I guess you can argue and say, well, strike while the iron's hot. I guess. I don't know. So that's going to be interesting of how they go about JC Jane and when at some point I'm sure she's going to lose this title because again, she's not going to hold on to that title for very long. I just find that hard to believe. But we'll soon find out. But they were defeated this week, guys, by AEW Grand Slam. So, you take a normal, just everyday weekly show on NXT, and you take AEW to where it's a heavily promoted, pay-per-view style event. So the number shouldn't really shock you. But the question is, man, and I say this all the time about ratings now, what are you going to do the following week to keep at least majority of those people to watch the following week to where now the NBA season is coming to an end. College baseball is coming to an end. Baseball season, we're in the heart of baseball season. We're not in football season yet. So this is a good time for AEW to truly capitalize. The NHL playoffs are also over. So this is a good opportunity, man, for AEW to really to build off of this week and at least get a good portion amount of fans to return from the show, from this weekly PLE. Um, so again, there's a lot of things to be excited about with AEW. Again, the only nitpick, if I have anything, as far as what I was able to see, was this 14-person tag. I'm sorry, man. There's just no need for it to throw a bunch of people in a match just to hit spots in a short amount of time. That's going to be forgettable within the next week. It's just very stupid, man. I'm sorry. Everybody did their thing. I'm not going to say that they didn't. They've done well what was given to them as the professionals that they are. But the booking of it, man, it's not needed. I'm sorry, guys. It's just not needed at all. If you liked it, great. But listen, I don't give a shit what I even like or what I dislike. But this sort of stuff is just blatantly just not needed. If you wanted to do something to promote I guess the heritage of being there in Mexico, Grand Slam in Mexico, you already did that with the 10-person tag, with the Bucks, with the Death Riders, with Swerve and Offspray and all of these people. I think Samoa Joe was in there too. Again, I don't have the notes in front of me to, confirm that. Again, that's just off the top of my head. So yeah, we'll see. Again, we'll talk more AEW in the near future. Again, if you want to hear my thoughts about Mercedes and her winning another championship, that's going to be once again on our social medias, to where you see the banner down below, Ruthless_talk, if you want to check out my thoughts on that. And that is pretty much it, man. So, and I want to I want to mention this too, man. Nick Khan. Nick Khan, man, to where he is doing a lot of talking. And usually I actually don't mind Nick Khan and the things that he says because the dude outside of Triple H and the freaking BS that Triple H likes to spew every fucking time he's in front of a camera because he loves the camera, right? To where he just spews a bunch of word salad and a bunch of BS and bullshit. But Nick Khan, dude, like Nick Khan, to where when he says things about how business is being run and how they go about things and how he feels about certain types of things about how business is going and how he feels about certain other people like Tony Khan and other people like such and such. It comes off pretty genuine. He doesn't come across as a guy that's like a snake, like other maybe businessmen around this entire country, around across the world. He seems like a straight up dude. And I'll believe more of what Nick Khan says than anything that comes out of fucking Triple H's mouth. But once again, Nick Khan, he pulls the Triple H card to where they're not going to book for the IWC, right? It's like, hey, anything that the IWC's, man, it's not real. Like it's like we ignore it. It's not, you know, it's not what's the word I'm looking for? Like it doesn't matter to us, right? We care about the WWE universe, right? You mean the people live in attendance that are paying you thousands upon thousands of dollars, to where majority of other wrestling fans, to where you damn well know they can't afford the amount of tickets that you're selling because you continue to inflate your ticket prices. Come on, man, stop. It's just like what it's this weird narrative that like the IWC, right? And granted, there's a lot of people in the IWC, the internet wrestling community. There's a lot of fucking weirdos, and there's a lot of people that will say a bunch of crazy, wild shit and be negative just for the sake of it and have tribalism. I completely get it. But there's also a lot of people to where passionate wrestling fans that, let's face it, they can't go to these shows anymore. They can't afford to go to a Monday Night Raw or SmackDown, or let alone a big pay-per-view, a big PLE like a WrestleMania, a Royal Rumble, or a SummerSlam. They can't afford to go to these freaking events, right? But you sit there and you clearly are catering to families and toddlers and children. Look at Jey Uso. Every time he comes waltzing down the fucking the freaking crowd, to where they permanently place a kid to just jump out of his seat or beside Jey Uso and yeet, right? And you got fucking Tessa Torre, you got Michael Cole, talking about, oh, we're gonna yeet all night long, we're gonna yeet into the night, right? It's like, oh, we're gonna freaking say some corny ass yeet joke or some shit. It's just like you're catering to a bunch of kids and families. Like, this is not catering to wrestling fans. And guess where the wrestling fans, the true hardcore wrestling fans, are going to dispute their frustration as far as what you are not giving them as far as productivity? Frickin' social media, which is what I'm sure Nick Khan and Triple H, that you see on a daily consistent basis, to where, yes, there are people that are going to spew negativity. There's people that are going to say a bunch of crazy, wild shit just for the sake of it. But there's also a lot of people in the IWC to where it's not just this one little spectrum. It's bigger than what you guys think it is. To where people like me, and I know there's a lot of people, you know, around the IWC, content creators, people who are very, very passionate about pro wrestling, to where we spew valid criticism. And it's so frustrating that this company just completely just gives out the middle finger to everybody who is just somewhat critical about the product. Like, oh, it's one ear out the other. We don't care. We don't care about those people. It's like, then listen to what they're saying, right? Instead of just seeing negativity as just negativity, listen to what they're saying. Listen to what maybe the criticism and the negativity is. For you to just block out and go earmuffs and say, oh, nope, we're not paying attention to it, it just comes across, man. It's just so fucking just stubborn. Just actions of this company just speaks volumes. And first it was Triple H, and it's like, oh, if you don't like the product, don't watch it, or what did he say? He's like, oh, if you're not a real fan, right? If you're part of, if you criticize the product, or if you're not happy, if you bitch about, you're not a real wrestling fan. You're not real. And now Nick Khan, pretty much from what he said, this was just a couple of days ago, in an interview or whatever the hell it was. If you guys again are on social media, you guys know if you know, like it just comes across as just really stubborn, man. To where like put your fucking ego and your pride aside, to where okay, cool, you're making a whole lot of money. The reason why you're making a shit ton of money is because you've inflated your ticket prices. You have also rested on the laurels and everything that Vince McMahon has built for decades upon decades, right? That's what's called liquidating. So you continue to liquidate this company. You can continue to liquidate what Vince McMahon built for decades upon decades. And guess what? That can only last that long, right? It can only get you that, it can only get you so far. So it's just like, it's frustrating, bro, to where me, as well as I'm sure a lot of people who are very passionate about pro wrestling, and we come on here in front of this camera, in front of this microphone, and we want to let this company know, like, hey, like, this doesn't make sense, this is weird, what are we doing here? And we speak about it on a very honest and fair and speaking valid criticism in that sort of way. And this company just sees criticism and negativity as just that, as just criticism and negativity. To where, guess, well, it's like, what the hell do you know? Do you, like, have you ever booked a show before? Right? Are you in that creative writer's room? Right? You're just a fan. What the hell do you know? You just bitch and moan every single week or all the time that there's something that happens in pro wrestling, that happens in our company. You just want to find something to bitch and moan about. No, it's the fact that you inflate your ticket prices and the fact that your product sucks, right? To where, don't think that we're fucking stupid, that TKO, right, Nick Khan is $1 billion in depth. Why? Because the productivity sucks, right? The productivity sucks, and along with so many other reasons of why TKO is losing $1 billion in depth, which is why you want to shove advertisements and everything down our throats, like Slim Jim, right? Fucking 7-Eleven, frickin' Morgan and Morgan, right? All these frickin' advertisements that are shoved down our throats, where the wrestling mat looks like a fucking billboard, to where it's an eyesore. And this is not the last I'll speak about this, by the way. Again, this, we'll get into SmackDown. It's just a massive eyesore, man. People just don't want to fucking see it. It doesn't matter if you like it or not. That's just what majority people just feel about it. And keep in mind, guys, don't get it twisted. The product has been going down south for a very long time, even before this whole TKO merge even freaking started. Because people will just solely blame TKO, and they'll just solely blame Nick Khan. They'll just solely blame the freaking suits and ties like Ariel Manuel, that they're the reason why the WWE sucks so much. No, motherfucker. Like, did last time I checked, are they the ones booking the shows? Right? Whose name pops up every time a Raw and a SmackDown show ends? Right? The executive producer. You know whose name comes up? It's Paul Levesque himself, Hunter Hearst Helmsley. He's blatantly telling you he's the one that's producing, that is approving everything that you see on a weekly basis. Right? Is TKO part of the reason of why WWE and where they're at is in the full-fledged shitter right now? Sure, they're part of it. With the advertisements and the nonstop commercials and doing everything to gain some revenue, because once again, TKO is losing a shit ton of money, billions upon billions of dollars, and they'll find a way to make any sort of revenue. And also because of the fact that the more your product gets shittier and shittier, right? To where you realize that this company does not gloat about record sellouts anymore, because they're not selling a whole lot of venues and other arenas as much as they used to, right? As well as viewership. Guys, you've heard me say this so much about viewership, man, to where at some point I'm actually going to show proof of how much they have lost in viewership. I'm going to do that at some point, maybe in a future upload. Stay tuned for that. But Monday Night Raw, they started 5 to 6 billion globally. Nowadays, bro, they can barely muster up barely even 2.7, 2.8 million. I think their last Monday Night Raw show was like around a 2.7, 2.8 million, losing majority, not even half, but more than half of their viewership audience. And this is not just for one day, it's for the whole fucking week. So not only do people have a whole week to watch this bullshit, right? And you're still losing fucking people. That just tells you a lot. To where you can appease the live audience all you want. You can say that the product is booming because people sing along and yeet and they're creating noise just for the sake of it. But guys, let's face it, these people at these live audiences, these shows, for some odd reason, they can find ways to afford and purchase these tickets to these shows. Majority of them guys are not wrestling fans. They are kids, they're toddlers, and their families that want to go out there and sing along and cheer and just to have a good time. They're not, they don't know, they're not hardcore, hardcore wrestling fans, right? They're not. And there's nothing wrong with bringing in a certain demographic. That's not my point. But we talk about, characters like Jey Uso. Okay, yeah, kids love him and they love to yeet. Other people love to yeet. Okay, that's great. You're appeasing the audience. Great. But everything else is not adding up. And just that's the problem, man. The viewership, the numbers, the metrics, right? You can be you can inflate your ticket prices all you want, and you want to blame the fans because of how shitty your product is and how fans call you out on your bullshit. We don't hear that negativity. We don't listen to that. We listen to the WWE universe like they're two separate fucking people. It's fucking weird. So those are my thoughts, man. Again, I usually don't mind Nick Khan and the things that he says, man, but these fucking comments, man, it's just like, come on, man. Like, you need to understand that the IWC, the wrestling community, right, to where you listen to these people, it's much larger of a capacity of fans than what you may think. It's not this small microcosm of wrestling fans that are just negative just to be negative. And there's people like that, no question. But there's also people like me that are passionate about this shit, that call you out on your bullshit, but then you put the earmuffs like, you like nothing's going on. You don't hear shit. That's where I get so frustrated as far as this company, and not even sometimes just the product. It's just how WWE and executives are going about business. And that's pretty much it, man. So I can harp on this all night long, but I do want to get into SmackDown here. So let's jump into it, man. SmackDown in Grand Rapids, Michigan. LA Knight starts off the show. He's interrupted by Paul Heyman, and then eventually out comes Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker to take out LA Knight. LA Knight is able to get an equalizer, which was a chair, to have both Braun and Bronson Reed retreat up the rampway, and that was the start of the show. I mean, what is it going to take, man, for LA Knight to get that rocket? Because you continue to hear this crowd every single week to where they are solely behind LA Knight, a guy that has every box checked off, that for the past 2 years that should have been given that rocket. I don't know what it's going to take, but it's just like it's like purposely sometimes I feel Triple H tries to throw cold water on this guy's steam purposely. And as much as Triple H wants to do that, though, LA Knight still gets these just amazing, enthusiastic pops and reactions every single week. And it's not just the yeah shtick, right? It's more than that, dude. The promos, even the matches, his mannerisms, how he says things, everything as far as being the total package, even at his age, being in his early 40s, the dude can fucking rock, bro. But you're putting him in there with Seth's cronies and his alliance members. So again, I don't know what it's going to take. And if LA Knight ever does get to that mountaintop, I just question if people are going to care as much as they really truly cared 2+ years ago when this dude was legit white hot. And that's it, man. As we'll get more into Braun Breaker late, or excuse me, LA Knight later, as he is in a matchup with Bronson Reed later on in the show. We go to Alexa Bliss versus Asuka. Asuka wins this match to where she is moving on to the finals of the Queen of the Ring tournament. Jade Cargill's looking on along with Michin and B-Fab. So that's most likely going to be your finals matchup is Jade, to where she's most likely going to beat Roxanne Perez and move on to the finals of the Queen of the Ring. So, I mean, look, man, again, two ladies, bro, Asuka and Alexa Bliss, who are rocking with the most momentum out of anybody in this women's division. And you think it's a good idea, Triple H, to throw these women in the same fucking match. Why? I don't understand why. They're two fucking faces. And then the fans have no choice because we like Alexa, we like Io Sky. It's like going to a fucking like a sporting event, and it's like you got a New York Mets baseball cap, but a New York Yankees jersey. that's what you're doing. It's like it's splitting your audience to where I like this team, but I like this other team. Let me just cheer for everybody that's involved. No, that's fucking weird. What are you doing? but that's this booking for you. And again, good for Asuka, right? Asuka, listen, I said it from the last episode. There's no reason why how you can have her just return and not have her win this tournament. But at the same time, though, man, I don't understand how this benefits Alexa Bliss. I really don't. To where she came back with, once again, I mentioned with LA Knight and the reactions that he gets, the pops that he gets. Alexa Bliss got the biggest pop out of almost anybody from the Royal Rumble that weekend. And they've built off of nothing from it. They took that steam and they poured cold water all over it. They did nothing with it. To where she missed WrestleMania. They had nothing for her at WrestleMania. And now here she is. She comes back and, and again, people still cheer for her. People want to see Alexa Bliss. And I'll get more into Alexa later on. And yet you have her lose this match. You have a face pinning another face clean. It's just like, guys, this is not good booking. I don't give a shit about maybe a potential story or what could be long-term booking from this. I don't give a fuck. If you were going to do, again, Charlotte Flair involving with Alexa Bliss, have Charlotte cost her the match, right? But they're going in a different direction. I'll get more into that later. But do something to make Alexa Bliss stay face. No, she just gets pinned clean. What the fuck is that doing for Alexa, guys? It's doing nothing. She's nothing but a spoke on the wheel. She's lost all of the steam that she had when she came back to the Royal Rumble. She has lost all of it to where she does not feel important. She does not feel a certain type of way because you continue to pour cold water on this woman's booking. It is so fucking weird to me. It makes no sense. And you put her in there with another face that just came back a week ago. What do you expect fans to do? It's like, oh, let's go Alexa. Oh, but I like Asuka more. It's not benefiting your talent by putting a face with another face. I don't give a shit, guys, if it's a tournament. I don't give a fuck. It might have a good match though, James. Okay, sure, great. I don't fucking care. This is not good booking. This is not how you go about booking your superstars, going about booking your talent. And that's just it, dude. R-Truth attacks Kit Wilson before Aleister Black gets into the ring, as it was a scheduled match between Aleister Black and Kit Wilson. Kit Wilson, as he just gets attacked by R-Truth. JB Noble comes out and he tries to stop R-Truth from trying to calm him down and trying to send him to the back or whatever. So Aleister Black, man, is very interesting. So then there was a backstage segment between the two as far as that is concerned. So, and then I think Damian Priest cut in and was like trying to calm down R-Truth. It's like, hey, take all that anger, frustration out on Cena. As he called out Cena in that ring from earlier when he was attacking Kit Wilson. John Cena never showed up. Of course, we talked, or we're going to talk John Cena in a match with R-Truth later on, as that was the main event of the show. So, I'll save my thoughts about Art Truth as far as his booking is concerned. Um, Again, man, Aleister Black, I just on one end, you respect them going back to it, but in the long run, man, I just don't see them putting in any other creative effort into Aleister Black to where what he's gonna maybe have a match with our Truth. Is he going to like what is he gonna do, bro? I legit don't see a long term plan for Aleister Black at all. I truly don't. So if you're wondering, that whole spiel happened. Um, And then we go into a promo segment with Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes comes out, doesn't say really anything. And then Jey Uso comes out. Guys, I'm going to say this right now. This might be a hot take. This might be the most nauseating fucking entrance there is right now in pro wrestling. I listen, I get it. There's a lot of Jey Uso fans and people like to yeet and people think that, it's Jey Uso. He's so, freaking he deserves it, right? Listen to the crowd. Look at all the merchandise that he's selling. But I'm sorry, guys, as far as this entrance, dude, like it's just so fucking nauseating to where we got to milk 10 some odd minutes and then another freaking 2 minutes just to fucking yeet nonstop. You gotta freaking plant a kid in the crowd to do the yeeting. Like, at least make that feel fucking organic. It's just, I can't take it anymore, guys. I really can't. It's at a point to where I just, I was at a point with Seth Rollins' theme song, and I still do it to this day, to where I just mute the TV. I'm at that point to where I'm gonna start doing that now with Jey Uso's fucking entrance. I can't do it. People may not like that for whoever's listening or watching. I'm sorry, man. I just can't do it anymore. Like even when he yeets with the kids and all that stuff, it's not even organic. It's just so fucking weird. Sami Zayn comes out, then Randy Orton comes out, and everybody just spews again a bunch of word salad and how much they love and respect one another. But unfortunately, there's got to be one winner. Randy Orton talked about, listen, I'm not going to hesitate to hit that RKO on you as much as I like and respect. And one day, Sami Zayn, you're going to be a world champion, just not today. Like, that's not going to happen. I got respect for you, but I ain't going to hesitate to hit you with the most three devastating letters in sports entertainment, the RKO. I don't even think Cody Rhodes said much from this promo as far as I can remember, as well as in my notes here. But again, guys, you have four baby faces, all fucking baby faces in this fucking match. Somebody tell me, what the fuck are we doing? Is it because, again, you have two heel champions? You have a briefcase holder that's a heel, so you have no choice but to throw randomly four of your top baby faces in this tournament, in the final four of this King of the Ring tournament, and everybody's just out there again, just saying how much they respect one another. Sami Zayn is out there. Sami Zayn, guys, and people keep saying like Sami Zayn needs a world championship. He needs this, needs that. Where was this fucking energy 2+ years ago when this dude was fucking white hot? Like, what is Sami Zayn and the booking that he's getting now is going to benefit him now with a world championship? Why? Because he deserves it? Not saying he doesn't. Not saying he doesn't deserve it, right? But like, are we just going to keep giving people championships or opportunities just because they deserve them? It's just like, why not do it properly? Like, actually give people title reigns and titles to where they have the most momentum. They're in the best storyline and all of these other factors that play a part into it. This was just a mess, dude. It's just like, fuck it. Who gives a shit? Let's just throw faces with other faces. Let's throw heels with other heels. It's like nobody cares anymore, bro. This is what you see nonstop every week, to where this company will not hesitate to throw another heel and another heel in a segment, or a baby face and a baby face in a segment. It's like the foundation of that aspect in pro wrestling is just dead. And it's so fucking weird because it's supposed to be professional wrestling 101. It's just like, guys, I can't lie to y'all. Like, I sit through this fucking show and I sit through segments like this, and I want to ram my head through a fucking wall. As much as I adore and I love all of these people in this segment, who is this benefiting during this segment? They're all fucking faces. I, Again, man, whatever the well, James, what the long-term plan is, that I don't give a shit. This is not how you fucking go about business or the product or what you're trying to do. I'm sorry. It's lackluster. It's fucking lazy, and it's effortless. And it's fucking bullshit on top of it. Randy Orton beats Sami Zayn in this semifinals match, and most likely going to face Cody Rhodes in the finals, as Cody Rhodes has a matchup with Jey Uso. I believe it's going to be on Monday Night Raw, probably in the main event. So there you go. It's gonna be Orton. It's gonna be Cody Rhodes. To where, again, man, if this was all just to give Cody this tournament just for him to do a rematch with John Cena, I don't know, man. I really don't know. But again, I couldn't see how you can leave Randy Orton or Cody Rhodes off of a Saudi Arabia show as far as business is concerned. From a business standpoint, like, you got to take it that way as well. I'm sorry, man. It's just a mess. It's like nobody wants to bat an eye. Nobody wants to say anything of how awful this is. All baby faces, dude, because all of your champions, or majority of your champions, and your briefcase holder are heels. So now you backed yourself into a corner. Well, fuck, we need more faces than we do heels, because most of our heels either hold a briefcase or fucking championships. I don't know. I really don't know anymore. But let's freaking move on here. You had Charlotte Flair and Chelsea Green up next. This was a one-on-one matchup. Charlotte Flair wins the match as Secret Hervis gets involved as they force a disqualification. Alexa Bliss comes out for the save, and they clear house, and then that's your segment. So, guys, I told you this, man, and I know Brian mentioned about, this could potentially lead to a feud between both Charlotte and Alexa. But that may happen, but it's going to happen after they mesh Alexa and Charlotte into a team. So right now, Charlotte is pretty much a tweener at this point. Forget just booking her as a diabolical heel. Why would we do that? why would we do that at all? Let's just put her in the same scenario like we did with Asuka years ago. Let's have them win championships and expect to do the same, and expect the same thing to have a different result. I don't understand how this is benefiting Charlotte. Nobody is going to care about Charlotte being majority of a face, and it's not helping Alexa and her momentum being tied down with Charlotte Flair. They're going to win championships, guys, and then what? And then Charlotte is then finally going to miraculously just turn on Alexa. Why couldn't you just start with that? And also keep in mind this, guys, to where like the whole story is that Alexa is showing compassion towards Charlotte Flair. Like, I respect, and I like the fact how, years ago in NXT, right, you were the only person that showed any respect towards me or talked to me, things like that. Didn't, like, guys, 4 years ago, weren't these two in a match? And if my memory serves me correct, didn't Charlotte Flair take that Lily doll, the same Lily doll that Alexa Bliss still has now, and legit ripped it to shreds 4 some odd years ago? I'm just saying, bro. And now miraculously, like, we're gonna, and this is what I mean. Like, there's no long-term story here. The main goal for this company is to mesh her with Alexa to get most of the crowd back in the good graces of Charlotte. Why? Because a lot of people like Alexa and what she's got rocking with, because people really like Alexa. Let's attach Charlotte Flair because we need to get her over as a face. There's no long-term plan booking here, bro. If that's the case, bro, they would have played that whole spiel with Lily the doll in that matchup. I think it was an Extreme Rules match or it was back in 2021, a matchup between Charlotte and Alexa. And after the matchup, bro, Charlotte rips up the fucking doll and rips it into fucking pieces, dude. It's just like, and now all of a sudden, miraculously, like, oh, you remember what Charlotte said or was by your side in the NXT days, but you don't remember what happened 4 some odd years ago when she ripped up your fucking doll that you're now still carrying to the ring. Make it make sense, man. Make it fucking make sense. Nothing makes sense about this at all. And it's all of it is just to try to get Charlotte Flair over as a face. Guess what, guys? It's not going to work. It's not going to fucking work. Why? Because we've done this already in the past and it's still not going to work. Even if you take out Asuka and you put in Alexa, it's not going to fucking work at all. And that's just it, man. LA Knight versus Bronson Reed in a matchup alongside Braun Breaker and Paul Heyman. The match ends in a disqualification. For some odd reason, I thought I heard Wade or Joe Tessitore say, like, no contest or the match is thrown off. I don't understand why Triple H has fucking Wade or Joe, as well as Michael Cole, say this shit. It's a DQ. Enough with the match was thrown off. Oh, the match is a no contest. Right? Is what? Is it easy way to book wrestlers, Triple H, to not make yourself look like an idiot because you know that some of these matches and what you're doing is not good booking? Like, oh shit, LA Knight can't lose, Bronson Reed can't lose. Let's force a DQ, but let's not call it a DQ. Let's just call it a no contest. Or the match is being thrown off because like it never happened. No, motherfucker. Stop insulting our fucking intelligence. It's a fucking DQ. It's just like, stop, man. Enough. You've been hearing that way too much from this company. You know? It's like, don't insult my intelligence. Don't insult everyone else's intelligence, bro. Call it for what it is. It's a D fucking Q. It's a DQ finish. It's like, stop. Anyway, LA Knight gets laid out from a spear and from tsunami splashes. And that's it. I mean, look, man, if this is what we're gonna do with LA Knight, we're gonna stick him in with Seth's group. All right. There's many different ways that I would be booking LA Knight right now, but look, it's just this is the thing, man, about Triple H and this company. They'll make you think that they're putting some sort of effort into their booking. Oh, look at who they're up against. People like Seth and people like Cena, right? And all of these people. But the booking is still lackluster. It's still inconsistent. You can put them in main events, you can put them in top spots, right? But if it's not going anywhere, if the booking is still not adding up on a week-to-week basis, it's still not you're not rectifying anything. So again, and I hope I'm wrong, man. It's just, if this is what we want to do with LA Knight, just again, man, I don't necessarily need to have LA Knight hold on to a title. At some point, I think it's long overdue as far as being on top, that mountaintop. And I'm not talking the US title, but that world title. But for now, just give this guy good booking, man. Do not make this dude just a spoke on the wheel. Do not make this dude just like another dude on the roster like you do with everybody else. So, because, you got to try to protect LA Knight, and now you got to also continue to make this new faction look strong. So, I don't know. I really don't know anymore. We move on, man. Tiffany Stratton and Nia Jax were in a segment. Nia Jax is attacking Tiffany, lays her out. Naomi tries to come out to cash her briefcase in for some odd reason, the same spot or the same place that Nia Jax is also out there. Nia Jax is preventing Naomi to cash in the briefcase, which I don't understand why that would be a problem for Nia. Just go out and attack the champion, whoever is the champion. Oh, but James, but the history between Tiffany and Nia Jax, guys, nobody cares. Nobody cares. You botched that. So you want to keep playing into that, but you didn't follow up with it when Tiffany Stratton cashed in her briefcase to take out Nia. And now this is recycled to where Nia was the same way with Tiffany. Every time Tiffany tried to cash in her briefcase, there's Nia either giving a nasty old mean grin or doing whatever to prevent Tiffany from cashing in the briefcase. And that's what they're now doing with Naomi. To where it's sitting in your lap, bro. Because I'll say this: if you want to do Naomi Tiffany Stratton SummerSlam, let's fucking do it, bro. I'm all for it. But now you're inserting Nia Jax to where what are you gonna do? A triple threat, right? Maybe at fucking at freaking SummerSlam, possibly depending on who wins the women's side of things of this tournament, the Queen of the Ring tournament. It's so fucking weird, man. It's just like Nia Jax, why? You're trying to follow up with a feud that's already dead in the water with Tiffany and with Nia. So now you're gonna have Tiffany and Nia next week in a matchup for the title on the line before Saudi Arabia's show, Night of Champions. It's just like, with Nia's insertion, man, it's like, why are you attacking or preventing Naomi to cash in? Like, why should it matter who's the champion? Just take out or go after whoever's the said fucking champion. I don't like, and for the excuse to be like, oh, well, the history between Nia and Tiffany, guys, stop. There is no fucking history. You didn't follow up with any of that history. So stop it. I don't know. Nobody gives a shit. So again, man, it's up to creativity to get their head out of their ass. Naomi and Tiffany can be so damn good. That type of feud, now that Naomi's a bona fide heel now, that could be so damn good, man, if you put the effort into it. We'll see if they do that moving forward. Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, they were in a segment as well. Jacob Fatu talking about how, oh, it looks like you've been using me, right? Doesn't look like, what you're saying. I don't buy what you're selling. Kind of seems like you've been using me. Lays down the title. It's like, if you want that, then come and take it. Let's fight for this title. Or Saudi Arabia Night of Champions. Let's do it. So Jacob Fatu, man, this was actually a decent segment for what it is, or at least part of the interaction with Solo and Jacob Fatu was really good, man. Jacob Fatu did a really good job. And Solo Sikoa, man, I'm going to say this, and I know it's been acknowledged by a lot of other content creators and a lot of other wrestling fans. Solo Sikoa, man, is really starting to find his groove. He's found that for a while. He still had his blunders and his inconsistencies, but recently, dude, if you were to take Solo and his two brothers right now, all the brothers in tow, Solo, Jay, and Jimmy individually, Solo's the better promo. I mean, it's not even close, dude. Solo is hitting his bullet points. He's speaking with confidence. He's not stumbling over his lines like he used to. This dude is in his element, man, and he deserves his praise. He's doing really good stuff right now. And I got to give credit where credit is due. And I would care more about Solo if this is how he was being booked, or at least felt as such after the John Cena match 2 years ago. But now let's have him lose 40 plus matches in a row. Let's dig his hole so fucking deep that he can maybe barely get out of it. So that's it, man. I think Solo's a good mid-carder. I think that's really his ceiling. I don't see his ceiling ever being world championship material, but he could be a damn good mid-carder. And you can see it, man, to where if he's consistent, he hits the bullet points that he needs to, he plays his part and he can do very, very well. But of course, with Jimmy coming out with the save on Jacob Fatu and Solo and JC Mateo, retreat up the rampway. Where this is leading to. It's going to lead to getting to this point, or at least furthering the storyline with tag matches, with one-on-one matches, Jacob Fatu and JC, probably another Jimmy Uso and Solo Sikoa matchup, Jimmy Uso and JC Mateo, Jacob Fatu and JC Mateo. So as much as I did like this segment, and I think maybe for some people, and maybe it added more of a spark to fans that didn't care much about this match, and now maybe they care just a little bit more about it. So I don't know. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. But as far as at least the interaction, the Jimmy Uso coming in the brawl, whatever, we've seen that time and time again, the lacklusterness of this company. But Solo, man, is doing a damn good job, and I want to give him his flowers. Jacob Fatu was already great, but Solo Sikoa, man, is doing a really good job with what he has been given, and he deserves his flowers, man. So hopefully he continues continues the good work moving forward. Let's just dive straight into this main event, man. John Cena versus R-Truth. Match once again ends in a DQ. I guess it's a DQ. I didn't hear anything about a no contest that the commentators like to continue to spew and just confuse the fuck out of more fucking people in the wrestling audience and people watching from home. But man, R-Truth, let me speak on him before I get to how this show ends. I really don't understand, man, what we're really doing with R-Truth, and how, even though people want to say it's this is all a work and whatever the case may be, guys, we know damn well this did not start off as a work. This turned into a work because WWE, Triple H fucked up. They got backlash. They heard it, and they brought R-Truth back. And they make this dude shave his head, have a new sort of hairstyle, and whatever story they do want to tell, right? If you want to sit here and argue with me, oh, James, but they're telling this story, they're going this way. But guys, you can't sit here and tell me that R-Truth over the last 2 weeks has felt like a spoke on the wheel. He just has. From after cutting his dreads and his hair, he's been a spoke on the wheel. For a guy that got so organically over. And if you're going to sit here and bullshit with me that, yeah, he's still got the steam, he's still doing fine, stop, man. I'm not saying he's ruined, but to say that his steam and his momentum is still there to when he came back, stop. I'm sorry, man. It's just, it's bullshit to where this dude was once again a spoke on the wheel. He was forgotten about after what again transpired later on of how this show ended. So that's disappointing, man, to where it was sitting in your lap, R-Truth and the establishment. I don't know what R-Truth, or don't know what John Cena has anything to do with the establishment, to where that's how you would have made this feel real. That's how you would have made this feel captivating. Play into how, or the process of R-Truth leaving the company and bringing him back. Make a storyline out of it. Use it to your advantage. But nope, they're just going to throw him in there with Cena. And that's all we're going to do with R-Truth, man. So it's like, oh, but James, but he's in there with Cena. He's in there in top segments. At least he's not doing comedy segments anymore. Is that really the bar? That's really the bar that we've set with R-Truth. He's no longer doing comedic stuff. Okay, great. Okay. That's going to truly do right by R-Truth? Put him in a real storyline. Like, stop. Like, enough with the again, man, with the fucking excuses, because now we got R-Truth back. Now we can shut up. Now we can just praise everything that this company now throws at us, right? Now, fuck that shit. No, absolutely not. And now we get to the end of the show. So Cena has got the title in tow. He's looking to attack some more on R-Truth. Punk comes out, and he brawls with Cena, and delivers a low blow. He gets low blowed by Cena, hits him over the head with the title, takes out the Slim Jim table, right? Because what's a table spot now without, also the commentators giving out corny fucking gestures about Slim Jim, right? Breaking in and snapping into a slim, whatever the fuck they say. But we got to get, that sponsorship in, man. Freaking Slim Jim. There it is. Cena AA's Punk through a table, and John Cena, man, he goes back in time and delivers a famous promo that was cut 14 years ago by none other than Phil Brooks, CM Punk himself, who Cena was a part of that segment, who was left out laying, being sent through a table. And now John Cena cuts the same type of promo, but in his own words and in his own way. Saying like, hey, while you lay there unconscious, right, I want you to listen to me. He's like, I don't even like you, John. He's like, I don't dislike you, Punk. I actually like you. Saying how he's always jealous of him and this and that. It's like, listen, there's one thing that you're better at than I am. He's like, you're the biggest bullshitter in the world, right? Calling him a capitalist and everything, right? He's breaking the fourth wall. He's like, hi, Claudio. Hi, Nick Nemeth. Hi, Matt Cardona. Doing all of the shtick that CM Punk did 14 years ago. You're not against TKO. You're Mr. TKO. Freaking, being the company guy now to where, oh, here, need me to come to a Saudi show? Forget what I said, 4 or 5 years ago about blood money sucking, what? No, I'll take a quick payday if you need me to, boss, right? So, Punk is slowly starting to turn into that, into somewhat of that company guy in a way, right? In a way. Now, I'm not saying fully, but in a way, to where, CM Punk is slowly kind of buying in as far as that whole scenario goes. Um, and John Cena continues. I thought this was a great line. And he says, Punk, yeah, you were the best in the world for 7 minutes 14 years ago. That was a great fucking line, dude. And he continues to go on in this promo, welcoming Grand Rapids, calling himself the greatest of all time. An official comes out to check out CM Punk, making sure that he was okay. And then he goes on. This was probably the line of the night. He raises up his championship, and this promo, guys, goes on for like freaking what, 8 minutes? I mean, there was like at least 10 minutes left in the show, and I'm thinking like, wait, what are they going to fill up time with here? There's 10 minutes left. And then Cena, as he gets into this promo, I'm like, okay, this is good. Okay, I see what they're doing, and this is going to go on for at least a couple minutes here. And Cena, by the end of this promo, this was actually great. John Cena says, like, USA, you could keep your next 2.5 minutes. I don't need a bomb. Elvis has left the mother fudging building. And he drops the microphone. And then Cena says, thanks, man, for letting me steal your promo to make you look more foolish. Drops the microphone again. Dude, John Cena was on all cylinders, man. And look, and let me say this too, right? Because a lot of people are now comparing this promo to one of the greatest promos he's ever cut. Am I going to go that far? No. I can't put this promo, a reenactment of someone else's promo, up against the promo that he cut on freaking Roman Reigns and saying, hey, it's a promo, kid. You want to be the big dog, you got to learn how to cut it. Just throwing Roman Reigns under the bus, throwing Austin Theory under the bus, right? He's like, I'd rather freaking be bald than freaking have crowd noise inserted into my matches because nobody cares, right? And even the promo with The Rock, right? Exposing The Rock and how he writes his promos on his wrist to remember his lines, right? So all of that still takes the cake. But that doesn't take away, though, man, for how John Cena stole the fucking show, because outside of this promo segment, this show flat out sucked. So you can thank John Cena for adding the mother fudging pulse to the show. And yeah, man, it was so well done, man. And Cena, like, for 8 minutes, 8 to 10 minutes, this was all Cena, dude. So where this dude did not stutter, this dude did not fumble his lines. This dude was fucking on it the only way that John Cena knows how to. And this dude, man, definitely cut one of the best promos that I will say, at least for this year, that possibly can take the cake. At least it's up there. And probably at least a slimmer of what's been his best heel work since he started. So that was really just, and of course, right, we go into this promo and we want to blow smoke and say this was the greatest promo ever. Guys, stop. I mean, listen, I get it. The nostalgia of the CM Punk pipe bomb, and now you kind of flip the switch to where now it's Cena and Punk's laid out. But here's what I will say, man. And again, I go back to these fucking sponsorships and WWE, freaking planting camera shots and camera angles to where you see Cena on the top rope, you see CM Punk laid out, and perfectly centered is that Slim Jim logo. It's just like product placement at its fucking finest. What's a fucking WWE segment, right? Even though we're going to cut this freaking this reenactment of a pipe bomb, but we got to get Slim Jim in there. We got to create product placement right there in center for Slim Jim. It's just like, come on, man. Listen, I get it. For some people, it may not seem like a big deal, but to a lot of people, it is, because it's such an eyesore. They don't want to see fucking a blatant Slim Jim logo right in front of their face when they're trying to get captivated by what John Cena's saying and trying to get into whatever he's doing. And for you to blatantly, like, because it just comes across like obnoxious. Like, and I get it. You got to make your money, do what you got to do. I'm not saying as far anything outside of that. But I'm sorry, man. It's just like for what WWE is turning into and what TKO has turned it into to a degree outside of the booking of Triple H, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, it's just such an eyesore, man. It's such a disgrace of what is something of products and equipment and a wrestling ring, something that was so sacred. And now all of this stuff as far as chairs, tables, the ring itself, it's a fucking billboard. That's just what it is. Because TKO is losing a shit ton of money. They're $1 billion in debt. We need to get all the advertisements that we fucking need. Oh, it's unbelievable. It really is unbelievable. And here's where I'll end it with this, man. To where, listen, John Cena ends this promo. He walks up the rampway. He also does the CM Punk kiss, the same kiss that he delivered to Vince McMahon, or CM Punk delivered to Vince McMahon in 2011 when he walked out with that championship, the same way that John Cena in 6 months proclaims that he's going to walk out with that said title. Look, man, I listened to to John Cena cut that promo, and for how good he was, and for how he was running on all cylinders, and how he didn't fumble over his lines, and how he didn't stutter. He was just straight up on it. And the mannerisms, the believability, and how he cut this promo for 8 to 10 minutes straight. Because I'm going to lay out some truth to everybody listening. Once Cena is gone, once CM Punk is gone, once all of these part-timers that this company continues to rest on without solely focusing on truly building other new stars, like, who is going to be that guy like a John Cena that's going to go out there and deliver such authenticity in their promos, believability? Who's truly doing that? CM Punk? Maybe Cody Rhodes? Maybe Roman Reigns? Maybe a Seth? But once they're gone, who do you have? Because here's the reality. Everybody in that locker room, everybody on that roster is a carbon copy of one another. They talk the same, they say the same promos in the same way. It's like a conveyor belt of fucking wrestlers, to where you see it. It's like people take promo classes. That's a thing, guys. It's like we take promo classes for people to find the charisma, to find the personality. Newsflash, either you have it or you fucking don't. John Cena has had it, even if it started from the ruthless aggression shtick to where he debuted with Kurt Angle and had his debut match in 2002. It's like either you have it or you don't. You can't teach that, right? Maybe, again, I'm not saying you don't develop stars in certain aspects in pro wrestling, but as far as charisma, as far as that it factor, like Bray Wyatt had it, right? And other people that you can name down the line, people like Ric Flair, right? That just had it. Rowdy Roddy Piper that just had it, right? That, like, just on a dime can just have that believability, that mannerisms, not stumble over his lines because he was confident. He knew what he was going to say and how he was going to say it. And nowadays, people need promo classes. They use that in the Performance Center. And now you're seeing the fact that WWE is continuing to monopolize with other wrestling products and other wrestling schools across the globe, across the world. It's just like we're going to continue to teach people the WWE way, to where everybody is going to cut the same promos, is going to talk the same way, learn the same way, the WWE way. And everybody, guys, is just going to be a spoke on the motherfucking wheel. Because once John Cena is completely done with this, like, there is nobody that is going to cut promos and make you feel not just enjoying it, but feel captivated of what John Cena says, what CM Punk said, the same way he cut that pipe bomb 14 years ago. Right? The authenticity. Where's the authenticity now with these wrestlers? Again, not saying that these wrestlers nowadays are not talented. Some are better than others. But gone are the days, man, to where you hear promos like that from Cena, from people like Punk, from many freaking people back in the day, freaking Ric Flair, Roddy Piper, and all of these guys, Bray Wyatt, all of these guys that on a dime can bring you that authenticity, that believability, that charisma, to where they don't have to take a promo class to figure it out. And nowadays, we're taking more promo classes for wrestlers to find that it factor. And if that's the case, we got a really big fucking problem of where professional wrestling is headed. Because of how many times we want to monopolize everything. We want to continue to have people learn the WWE way of things. It's interesting, man. You see it. WWE ID, WWE Evolve, right? They just, at some point, they're going to buy TNA, freaking AAA. It's NXT already. It's just, it sucks, man. It really does. And again, there's people that cut promos and they have a certain type of personality than others, but you're not going to get that same authenticity that John Cena has, or CM Punk has, or many people that have paved the way to make you feel captivated by what they're saying and the story that they're telling, that got you hooked on the match itself. Even if they weren't the best in-ring performer or the in-ring wrestler, they didn't have to rely on that match to captivate you. But nowadays, bro, it's the fucking opposite. And gone are the days of John Cena, who can cut promos like that. Who's going to be cutting promos like that in the near future? MJF? That's a different freaking company, right? The only guy, I mean, who else? Guys, who fucking else? I'll wait till I get an answer, but it's just eye-opening. It's really, really eye-opening. And that's all I can say after listening to this promo. That's all I can that just comes to mind, man. The authenticity, the believability, just everything that John Cena can still do to this day is just so spot on. And 5 to 10 years, bro, where are you getting that from? The answer's fucking nobody, unfortunately. And that's just the reality of it. Well, thank you guys so much. I'm going to end it there. Once again, it is already very late on a Sunday. I should say Sunday morning at this point. I don't know when I'll be recording another episode. Stay tuned for when this episode drops. I'll try to get this out at some point on Sunday, later in the night on Sunday. Most of you guys may catch this on Sunday, maybe Monday this coming week. Who knows? Probably the next episode that you guys will probably get will not be until probably Night of Champions. I'll try at some point to maybe get a Monday Night Raw review in this week. As once again, I'll be traveling. I'll be all over the place. So make sure you guys do stay notified. Of course, you see the banner down below. Make sure you follow us on Instagram and TikTok, Ruthless_Talk. Not sure again when Brian Thomas is going to be back. Like I mentioned before, the man's got kids. The man's married. He's got responsibilities as a father, as a husband. So he is doing his thing. And of course, we'll keep you updated for when Brian Thomas does come back. But in the meantime, man, you're going to get me, myself, and I, and a lot of solo shows. And who knows, maybe some special guests that'll join me up until, we get closer and closer to SummerSlam. We get closer and closer to AEW All In and all these other pay-per-views, PLEs coming up. So just stay tuned for it, man. But once again, just make sure you guys stay notified, because once again, I don't know when episodes will be dropping in the next couple of weeks, but I will definitely find some time to talk about things as well, not just on this podcast, but also on our social medias as well. So stay tuned for all of that to come. Thank you guys once again so much for continuing to grow this platform, to continue to grow this community. So many people have followed us on TikTok. We're very, very near close to 2,800 followers on TikTok. We're very damn near close to almost 400 subscribers on YouTube. So just want to say thank you to everybody that has joined the community, and make sure you guys stay tuned for more content to come, and make sure you guys spread the word, man. If you guys know anybody that loves pro wrestling and even sports, right? Me and Brian have talked sports on this platform, and we'll continue to do such moving forward. So if you're a sports fan, if you're a pro wrestling fan, man, if you like people that don't sugarcoat, that don't bullshit, this is your fucking platform, man. This is the place that you need to be. As we will continue to call out WWE, we will continue to call out pro wrestling on their nonstop bullshit.